Hey, what's up everybody, it's me, King Epic here, and today I'm bringing you a brand new video. Today I'm giving you the in-depth guide on the officer class, and then I'm going to be giving you the specialist class tomorrow. So we're going to be going through these classes every day. I'm just going to try and make sure that I'm not trying to speed through them, but I do want to get this mini series out of the way so that I can actually focus on bigger things. Also, I'm sorry I didn't live stream last night. I was babysitting my sisters and I fell asleep. So anyways, let's get right into the guide and not waste any more of your times. Now, of course, like I said in the beginning, well, like I've said in other videos, the timestamps will be in the description below or in the comment section, so definitely check those out in case you want to skip to the blasters or anything, okay? So we're going to talk about the ability cards, of course, first. I mean, the boost cards, and then we're going to talk about the ability cards. I know, sadly, I don't have a lot of cards unlocked for the officer classes because personally I've been using my crafting parts on different classes. But I do have knowledge of the officer class and which cards are actually best for the officer class. So we're going to go over some of the boost cards, and then I'm basically going to tell you not to use some of these and just try my best here. So the officer's presence is actually a really good card even though I don't have it. It reduces the delay before nearby allies' health regeneration begins. So in a way, this is actually survivalist, but to everyone. So if, let's say, my friend has this card and it's on epic level 40%, I can actually take survivalist off of both my assault and heavy class because I know anytime I'm around him, my health regeneration is going to have a 40% reduction, which is with the delayed reduction as well. So what I'm kind of curious is if someone has this card on Epic and it's at 40% and I have my Survivalist card on Epic which is actually at 40% as well, does that mean I have an 80% health reduction and like regen delay reduction? Like that's actually pretty insane. Like I don't even have to worry about my health technically. But this card is really good. This gives you in a way a boost. It's a boost, but like other people won't really know. That's the only thing. That you just give a lot of people regen delayed reduction. It can actually help out a lot in case you're in scenarios like Feed, where you're in those close quarters, or if you're in like Yavin 4 holding a place. And this is a really, in a way, this is a very good objective based card. This card will help out a lot with anyone around you when you're defending or even attacking as well. It can actually help you guys out a lot. Marksman, this card, do not use this card on the officer unless you're like a freaking aimbot. Expert weapons handling, nah, I wouldn't use this card either. There's better cards than this to use for the officer class. Brawler, you guys already know how I feel about Brawler. It's horrible. You barely melee in this game, so yeah. Resourceful, sadly I don't have this card open and I don't want to use my crafting parts to open it, but I would actually use this card over Bounty Hunter. The only reason why I have Bounty Hunter is because they gave me this card, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna just use it. But personally, Resourceful is actually a huge card in this class because with at least battle command, improved battle command, and disruption, I think with Resourceful having a 28% increase in recharge time, you can actually bring like 16. Well, sorry, that's a radius, but you can bring down the battle command time, and you can also bring down the disruption time. And I think you usually use these 24/7 on an officer, or whatever ability cards you have in the officer. You use them most of the time 24/7. So I think this Resourceful card is definitely a huge help for anybody that, you know, spams their battle command or loves to use their blast turret, or even the shield generator, and also the disruption, or even your flash grenade. If you actually love using your flash grenade, you can definitely always use your flash grenade at like a consistent amount of times. And honestly, this is a really good card. I wish I had this card, but I currently don't. So maybe in the near future I'll give you guys like an update on this card for my officer class, and actually show you guys what I actually use for my officer class in the near future. Now we're going to talk about Bounty Hunter. Everybody knows how I feel about Bounty Hunter. Personally, the only reason why I have this card on is because of the fact that it's my only other green card that I have. So I just use it because it's a good boost card. It gives me extra battle points sometimes, but personally I feel like I just don't need it. However, when I do use the officer class, since I do go on kill streaks really fast, I do get heroes super fast, or reinforce like the enforcer or the rocket trooper. I get these really fast because of the fact that I have bouncy hunter. Survivalist, you guys know how I feel about this card. I love this card personally, and like I said, it does go really well with the officer's presence. However, you know, I don't use survivalist on this class because I feel like there's other cards that actually are better than this card, because of the fact that it helps me improve my all-around play as an officer. As you know, the officer is not huge offensively. However, you can actually make an officer like an offensive beast if you have the right cards with him. So that's the only reason why I don't use survivalist, because I do have two other cards that I use a lot more than survivalist. Bodyguard, everybody knows how I feel about this. Toxin, I don't even talk about Toxin, but the explosive damage protection is really good. As the officer, I will say you get in a lot of scenarios where, you know, they chuck a lot of grenades at you or anything, and I feel like with the officer, if you do have this card, then you probably are going to be able to stay in those scenarios where it's dangerous. You know, there's a bunch of tanks, there's a bunch of grenades being thrown at you, or anything. I think this card could really help you out. Stay in the fight, boost up your friendlies, especially if you have this card, and then you have improved battle command. I think that could be like a huge boost all around for your an all-around play for your officer class, so that you have a boost for your teammates. You also boost your teammates with battle command, and then you also can stay in the fight with explosives and everything. So I personally feel like a bodyguard is a really good card. It's just it's only at level 1, so I use, you know, this card that gives me a little bit more of a boost. Now let's go right into the ability cards. Personally, I don't use the improved flash grenade. I know everybody you know, sees me using the improved thermal detonator, but I feel like with the improved flash grenade, you don't really need that huge blast radius, because usually when you throw your flash grenade, you throw it in certain scenarios, like when you're up close, you throw it really up close, or even sometimes this grenade does kill people. So if you want to use your flash grenade, you just throw your flash grenade at a low enemy and you pop them right. Once you throw it, you have to press L1 for PS4. You press L1 or LB for Xbox, and I don't know what the button is for PC, but basically you throw it and you detonate it with L1, and it actually does damage. So don't think that you're just throwing a flash grenade and it just does no damage, it just blinds them. No, this actually does damage too. I don't know how much damage it actually does, but sometimes it does like 50, 75 damage. It depends on actually the class as well, I believe, but this does do a lot of damage, and it can actually help you out a lot. But I just feel like I just don't need the blast radius. There's other cards that are better than just using the improved flash grenade. Now we're going to go into the homing shot. This homing shot is not what it used to be from the first Battlefront. In the first Battlefront, everybody used to just go like this and then just shooting homing shot. Sorry. Well, I just had breakfast. Everybody used to use the homing shot, and I used to see everybody just go like this, and I remember like turning around and then seeing someone just like this looking at me, and I'm just like, oh, there's a homing shot coming at me. Personally, this homing shot, it does fire I believe 2 missiles. I've seen someone fire 2 missiles at someone, but honestly it's really easy to dodge these missiles. These missiles aren't like super fast. They're actually kind of like the ion turret, where it like shoots it but it like slowly goes to you. So personally, I just don't use the homing shot. It's not what it used to be, and it's not I just feel like this card is kind of useless. You just, unless you're like trying to be super offensive with the officer, then you could use this card. But personally, the flash grenade actually is of better use than the homing shot. So I definitely want to put this card over the flash grenade at all. Now we're gonna go over the diffuser, a device that creates an electrically charged field in a large area around its user for a limited time that automatically diffuses any incoming explosives. I'm sorry, I just woke up an hour ago. So, but anyways, it automatically diffuses any incoming explosive. This is actually really good for like a scenario like Theed, where you're in the throne room and people are chucking grenades. You just put this field up, and then boom, like all those grenades, explosives, anything, they actually just get diffused, and it's actually really cool. The only thing is just I personally don't like use this card. Like I feel like the flash grenade, like I said, the flash grenade is more I think this card is more scenario wise, and then the flash grenade you can use in any scenario regardless. Gunfights, just throwing the flash grenade for damage, anything. I feel like this card could be good, but in like certain scenarios. The flash grenade is in any scenario. So personally, that's why I take the flash grenade over both the homing shot and the diffuser. Now we're going to talk about the commands. So blast command, an improved version of battle command that gives unlimited blaster cooling to yourself and nearby allies for a limited time. The only reason why I don't use this card is because of the fact that it's a blaster cooling both to myself and nearby allies. It's kind of like, you know, I feel like this card is just, it doesn't really give a huge boost. Like, it could give a huge boost if you're in a scenario where, you know, you're in a little choke point and you like boost everybody for with the blast command, and it actually helps everybody just like continue to shoot at the enemy. However, I feel like, of course, improved battle command, where it gives you both, it gives you a shorter recharge time, bigger effective radius, and also buffs myself with health, and it buffs everybody else with health. I think this is the card for everyone. This card allows everyone to have higher health, have a less recharge time, and everything. I feel like this card is an all-around base card that allows everyone to basically have a huge boost rather than just in a blaster or a blaster for both myself and other people. I don't think this blast command is the best. Now we're going to go over the recharge command. The recharge command boosts yourself and friendly soldiers in your vicinity by taking your abilities out of recharge and increasing your recharge speed for a limited time. This card could be pretty good in case, like I said, you're in a choke point and you want everybody's abilities to always recharge, like refresh, and then both have them at a increased recharge time. But like I said again, this is only like set for one certain thing. At least with the improved battle command, it does multiple things. The recharge time, bigger effective radius, and also buffs yourself and also your allies. So, you know, this card is really good in case you just want to have people's ability cards refreshing 24/7. But you know, personally, I wouldn't use this card. I feel like I said, now we're going right into this. The improved battle command is where it's at. An improved version of battle command that has a shorter recharge time, bigger effective radius, and also buffs yourself. Now if you want to read what battle command actually is, it says inspire your squad by issuing a battle command that allows your allies to withstand more damage. So you're basically giving them more health, a shorter recharge time, a bigger effective radius, and also it buffs yourself as well. That's an all-around card that I really do like, and I feel like it's definitely balanced where it helps everyone, it helps yourself, and it gives it more categories where it helps out rather than in just one or two categories that like the blaster command and the recharge command actually do. Now we're gonna go into the improved blaster turret. I personally love this card. So basically the blaster turret, the default blaster turret locks onto enemy soldiers and vehicles. Turret automatically repairs when Turret automatically repairs when near a friendly officer. Retrigger action, self-destruct. Now I will say this, guys, do not, and I repeat, do not try and detonate this next to yourself. It blows up and does damage. Also, when you're an enemy to a turret and you're behind the turret, do not shoot the turret and destroy it right next to it. You will take explosive damage. It does self-destruct. So you need to be careful. Now also with this card, you can actually pick up your turret. You don't have to detonate it every time. So if your turret's like right next to you and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go over there, I'm gonna detonate my chart, I'm gonna detonate the blaster turret and then I'll wait for it to recharge. No, you can actually go hold square and you can pick it up, and now your card just refreshes and now you can use your turret again. So that's definitely good. Now the improved blaster turret. Now to the card. The improved version of the blaster turret with increased health and shorter recharge time. This is definitely good because it has increased health, which sometimes, I'm gonna tell you guys, sometimes these blaster turrets really take forever to kill because of the fact that they do have this improved blaster turret card on, and with that improved health, you're shooting at the card, and you're shooting at the turret, and it just feels like the turret is not taking as much damage. And then when you're like shooting at it for a long time, and the blaster turret's like, oh, I see you, and it starts hitting you, you can die really easily just by sitting there. Especially if you're a specialist and you only have 100 health, you can die in like 5 or 6 blaster shots from this turret. So definitely be careful with this turret. This turret is is not something to play around at all. But I definitely like using this card, but I've been using Disruption lately, so yeah. Anyways, Squad Shield, and a portable energy shield that protects users from blasters and other energy weapons. Everybody knows what this is. It's a squad shield. This actually is really helpful for objective based things. When you're planning the bomb, you put your shield down. You know, you can't take blaster fire, you can't take also grenade fire, anything, grenade fire, explosive fire, anything. The only thing is though, with a level 1 card, you do have 1,000 health, so it's not that much, and people can actually shoot, especially if you're just in the objective by yourself and there's a lot of enemies around you. You can like put the shield down, and then in 2 seconds the shield could be gone if everybody's shooting at the shield, especially heavies with the supercharged or the explosive sentry. Any of the sentries can actually destroy a squad shield instantly. So definitely be careful when using these. You have to be very situational with these cards. I think that's the only reason why I don't use this card, but yeah, I personally like the disruption over the squad shield, and also the blast turret over the squad shield, because you can also just put a blast turret right where the objective is, and just put the turret, and then let the turret just auto lock into the enemy. Anyways, we're going into the last card over here, Disruption, a modified diffusion device that creates a burst of ionized energy that overheats enemy weapons, diffuses explosives, and temporarily disables turrets. Now this card does 3 things that's like huge, because whenever you're like next to a turret, you could just disable the turret. It diffuses explosives, which is really cool. Like, you know, it's basically one of those, if you ever played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, it reminds me of like a sit rep where you could just press disruption and then it diffuses an explosive, you know, something like that. I think that's really cool. And I think also if they throw a grenade and you use disruption, and actually diffuses the explosive, so you just basically threw that grenade and you're just like, whoa, my grenade didn't hit him because he used disruption, which is really cool. I know some people have actually been hating this card because of the fact that it actually overheats your enemy's weapons. So if someone is using, let's say, the Blurg or the SE or any of the blasters that they have, and you're about to shoot at them, but then they press the disruption, your weapon basically overheats. And especially if you're a heavy, where you're heavy, with the cooling power, the bars are really like towards the back. They're not in the front like with the assault weapons. They're towards the back. So the problem with that is that if you hit disruption on a heavy, and all of a sudden, you know, you have to go and hit the blue bar, you definitely need to go for the blue bar, not the yellow bar. You got to go for the blue bar, because the officer will kill you in 1 to 2 bursts or 1 to 2 shots, depending on which blaster they're using. And this card is just actually like just a monster if you use this card right, and especially at an epic level of 20 range. That's insane, because that's a huge blast radius in a way, or a huge range just for disruption, where everybody's weapons just overheats and you could just continue to kill people. And this is also not just a card for you. You can actually just run into a room, go like this, and any of your friendlies can actually just start just destroying people and mauling people down. So I definitely, as you can see, I have this card equipped, and I definitely like using this card. I definitely got to get better at using it, because it's really good at scenarios where it's a 2v1 and you hit this disruption card, and then you just got to focus on which one you want to kill first. Usually if it's a heavy and assault, I usually go for the heavy first, because the assault I could definitely take out, it has less health. But the heavy, you know, the heavy has more health, and they have the personal shield sometimes and everything. So you definitely want to focus the heavy, or just whichever class is there first. Now we're gonna go over the blasters. I always do this in every video. I go over how to get these guns first and the mods before I actually go into the blasters. So for the first blaster, you got to get 50 kills to get the S5. You got to get 200 kills to get the Blurg 1120. Yeah, 1120. I'll just say 1120. And you need 500 kills to get the SE44C. And let's scroll down to the mods, which is all the way at the bottom, I believe. Yes. So the first mod is the reduced recoil. You need 50 kills. Oh, sorry, I don't talk about the reward, but basically you need 50 kills for the first mod, 150 for the second mod, and 250 for the third mod. That is the same as all other classes, like I've said in other videos. Now let's go into the blasters. These blasters, wrong class. These blasters, a lot of people actually have said, I even agree, some of them are actually OP. So the default weapons are actually pretty decent. They have fast firing, that has pretty decent fire rate. They have really good damage actually, and the cooling power is actually really decent, where you can just continue to use the blaster. And I just personally like using the default blasters a lot as well. The S5, guys, I want to say this right now. It is going to be a struggle to get the first mod on this blaster. This blaster does a huge amount of damage, has a really slow fire rate, has a really good cooling power, and it's a pretty good range. The only thing about this blaster is that it has a huge amount of recoil. I mean, once you shoot one blaster shot, your blaster, if you're shooting them from the body, once you shoot your first blaster, it's either going to go above their head or even a little bit higher or even to the side. This blaster does have a lot of recoil, and if you cannot control weapons with recoil, then I definitely would suggest trying your best to get reduced recoil. I currently don't even have reduced recoil. As you can see in the challenges before, I only need 7 more kills for reduced recoil, because I do want to unlock the attachments for this weapon so I can actually finish my challenges. I'm 65 out of 72 for the troopers, so I definitely wanted to finish those challenges. But yeah, after reduced recoil, I personally, dual zoom and ion shot are actually useless. Like I've always said, dual zoom on this pistol, I really wouldn't use it, because unless you're really trying to snipe with this pistol. But personally, I use this pistol up close, and I will say this, it kills people in 2 shots. Heavies, it kills them in 3 shots, depending on where you shoot. But this, hopefully when I get reduced recoil, the S5 can actually be pretty good. I know a lot of people love the S5, but I think it's because they have the reduced recoil on it that's why they love it. But if they didn't have reduced recoil on it, I think a lot of people would not like the S5, and a lot of people still don't like the S5 because they don't have the reduced recoil on it. Now let's go into one of the most OP guns behind the CR2 in the game, the Blurg 1120. Now, when I tell you this, guys, this gun is absolutely, I'm gonna say it's godlike, but it's also really annoying. I've seen people since you can get reduced recoil, improved burst, and exploding shot. This is all 3 attachments that are actually amazing on this gun, and you can actually, you know, do whichever one you want. So you can do reduced recoil with exploding shot, or you can do improved burst with reduced recoil like I have, and you can also do exploding shot with improved burst if you just really don't want the reduced recoil. Now the main thing is, with improved burst, it goes from a power cell, which this is a two blast, sorry, this is a burst gun, okay? So now with improved burst, it goes from a power cell that raises the number of bolts fired in each burst to 4. That is crazy. It went from 2 blast burst mode to 4. That's 4 blasters hitting you every burst, and it just decimates people. And 2 bursts, basically, you kill anyone in your path. Especially with reduced recoil or even exploding shot. You just do a ton of damage with this weapon, and honestly, I know it sucks, but the officer is not supposed to be met offensively, and this does give it its huge advantage. I know a lot of people don't like the blurg. Personally, I don't like the blurg because of the fact that some people could just sit behind a rock and just snipe people from across the map with the blurg, and it's actually really annoying. And I've seen people go like 40 and like 1 with this gun because of the fact that they just sit behind a rock, use their battle command, and then just snipe people with this gun. And I like using this gun because this is a more balanced gun. This takes more skill rather than a blurg, which you could just basically run around, burst someone down, and don't even worry about them. And you most likely always win a gunfight with the blurg. So I would stay away from the blurg if you're really, unless you're really struggling with the officers to kill people, then definitely use the blurg. But personally, the blurg, to me, I just don't like it because of the fact that I call it another cheese gun. It's behind the CR2. It's a really cheesy gun. I mean, there's only 3 blasters in a way that you can ever use, but I just always stay away from the blurg and the CR2 because I just call them the cheese guns, and I'd rather have it where I use guns that actually take more skill than just being able to spray and just get kills. Now I'm going to talk about the SE44C, one of my favorite blasters in this class. Now, this blaster does have 2 really good mods. It has improved cooling and it has rapid fire. You guys know already how I feel about night vision. Night vision is useless, but with the rapid fire attachment on it, it just makes it so good. You just hold down the trigger and it just shoots so fast, and especially since it has a rate of fire already that's really decent. It's in the middle. I think it brings it to like 8 out of 10 out of the bar, and it just shoots super fast. It's a little bit behind the CR2. It's not as fast as the CR2 or the TL50, but this blaster shoots so fast. Even it feels like this blaster has reduced recoil without a reduced recoil mod. It's really good, and as you can see by the stats, it's actually just an all-around decent. Its cooling power is decent, the range is decent, the damage is decent, and then it's just the rate of fire that's a bit increased. And with you having improved cooling, your cooling power is actually probably, like, let's see, it doesn't actually even change the stats, but with improved cooling, it actually brings it probably down to 2 or even maybe 1, because every time I use this, I'm like, reload. Like, it's super fast to reload this gun in a way, and well, not reload, cool it down. And I just personally love using this blaster. This blaster is my go-to blaster. I'm glad I got this blaster over the blurg or the S5 and even the default weapons. The default weapons are actually pretty decent. It's just that this S44C is probably my second favorite blaster behind the DC-15 LE. But yeah, the rapid fire is a definite must in this attachment. I know it's gonna take you 250 kills to get this rapid fire, but like I'm telling you guys, it is definitely worth it. And definitely try and grind for this blaster. This blaster is the absolute beast of the class. I personally say it's the beast of the class because the blurg, like I said, I'm going back to it, is a cheese gun and it takes kind of no skill. So other than that, the improved cooling really does help, like I said, and night vision, blah. So if I would rate these guns out of everything, I would go the SE44C, the default blaster, I would leave the blurg, and then the S5, because the only reason why I put the blurg at 3rd is because of the fact that, like I said, it's a cheese gun. It takes no skill, but it actually does pack a huge punch. And if you really just don't care about what people's opinions are, use this gun. Use this gun 24/7. Go on those high kill streaks and just go all off with the officer. But personally, I love the SE44C, and then, you know, the default blasters like this DC-17 that you use on the Rocket Trooper is actually really good. So I like this blaster a lot as well. So yeah, that's about it for the guns and everything. I hope you guys did enjoy my officer class guide. I know this was a really long video again, but we're almost done with these videos being super long, in depth, and everything. So I hope you guys did enjoy. I'm probably gonna start putting in some gameplay during these clips, show you guys how I actually use each class and everything. So I hope you did enjoy. Please leave a like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out my live streams when I have them daily. Alright, peace out guys. I hope you do enjoy.